Okay, hello everybody. This is February 24th, 2008. I guess it's been already a month since I did an update. Things continue to happen fast, so I want to cover a few things here. Just sent out a bunch of DVDs, some more DVDs, burned and sent them out today. Thanks for your patience on those people that are sent in for the DVD. I can't do it all the time because I'm really busy, but I sent out a big batch, and I just have maybe 4 more last orders that came in the last few days. I'll send those out in a few more days. The people in Europe that ordered the DVDs in Canada, have a little patience because they have to go through customs, and there's some little tricks to getting them mailed out. So we'll work on that. Thanks everybody that ordered the DVD. Thanks for the people that are watching. I'm sorry I can't respond to everybody. I'm getting a lot of response, which I'm grateful for, but my inbox gets pretty full, and so please forgive me if I don't respond. And thanks so much for all of you that ordered the DVD. I know some of you sent very nice messages through PayPal. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Let's talk about interest rates. Okay, I'm looking at an article here. I mean, I have stacked up Barron's, Wall Street Journals. I'm not able to read everything lately, but credit crisis hits Main Street. The point I want to make here, if you watch some of my videos, maybe I'll insert a couple clips real quick right here. The Constitution provides for gold and silver as real money. These pieces of paper, these Federal Reserve notes, are just pieces of paper. People are losing confidence. It took $700, at least the futures market, $700 in December, 700 of these to buy an ounce of gold. And I predict it'll be $1,000 not before too long to buy an ounce of gold. If you've watched my videos from when I talked when gold was at 666, or when I called for the economic collapse back in the summer of 2007, a lot of people were saying, oh, this will be over and we'll have, the markets will be strong by the end of 2007. Well, now they're saying, well, we'll be recovered and the markets will be strong by the end of 2008. Well, that's not true. They won't be stronger. And I love watching CNBC. It's fun to watch it. I like watching CNBC Europe. I love those guys there. They're more direct. They have longer interviews. But I love the U.S. people too. I'm thinking of David Faber right now. David Faber says, nobody thought it would be this bad. Well, I got news for you, David Faber. Yes, some people did think it was going to be this bad. And here's one right here that made that projection was about 8 months ago. Yeah, it was going to be that bad. And Aaron and Mark Haynes, I like watching you guys in the morning. And I know that they want to be positive. Mark's starting to get a little bit dour, and rightly so, because things are not going to get better. It's fun to watch Joe Kernan because I know he has a certain deep understanding of how bad it's going to be, and then Steve Leisman will try to take the opposite position, and then you got Rick Santelli on the floor of the Chicago Merc, and he's just he knows what's going on as far as the markets, and it's kind of interesting to watch the banter between Steve Leisman and Rick Santelli and everything that's going on. It is getting intense, but so here, this update will tell you what's going to happen 6 to 9 months down the road, since you really can't get the truth out of TV. I saw, I guess, Bob Dahl from Blackstone Group, and they're talking about, we're going to avert recession. I just can't even believe I'm hearing this, but nonetheless, I am. So here's Man of Truth telling you the truth here on February 24, 2008. Recently, some big developments have happened. City of Vallejo is talking about filing for bankruptcy. And then in New York, as many of you probably are aware, or some of you, they tried to float an auction. I guess the New York Port Authority, instead of paying 4% interest on their munis, they paid 20%. Now let's put that in layman's terms. Let's say you had $1 million worth of bonds, okay? Municipal bonds, which means basically the city of New York needed to do something, build another subway. They borrowed $1 million, and you said, I'm going to go buy those because those are safe. I don't have to pay taxes on them. Because they're municipal bonds. I don't have to pay state taxes on them. So you buy $1 million worth, and interest rates just went from 4% to 20%, which means if you had $1 million worth of bonds, they just went to a value of $200,000. You went from being a millionaire to worth $200,000. If you're living on a fixed income, which a lot of Americans are, that can be devastating, that kind of thing. And not only that, food prices are going up, of course, gas is going up, and so Americans are getting squeezed. They're getting squeezed. As I explained in the DVD, in depth about the central banks and paper currencies, the Grim Reaper is coming. So we are witnessing the economic collapse of the United States, and no, it's not going to make a comeback. Fortunately, I have friends in a lot of different places, and people think, oh, we're going to make a comeback. No, this is the final domino falling in the collapse of the United States. This is the truth. It doesn't matter whether you're optimist, pessimist, bearish, or bullish. It doesn't matter. The facts are that America's going down. I know I said that in a video that when I told Kramer that, in response, I said, don't buy stocks, and that was 7 or 8 months ago. We'll get to see the Dow go under 10,000. Why hasn't it gone down yet? Well, we've had these, quote, emergency rate cuts, and we have this insanity of stealing from some Americans and sending out checks to other Americans. That's just a facade, okay? That's not going to revive the economy. You can't steal from Peter and pay Paul and think it's going to fix anything. The United States has run up tremendous debt. You know, the city of New York thing here, look at this. Without affordable funding, this is Elliot Spitzer, the governor of New York, projects don't get built, streets don't get repaved. It affects the people driving on those roads and the people paving those roads. And it even talks about that they'll have to cut back in the police services. You know, so, for example, Port Authority of New York and New Jersey saw interest rates skyrocket to 20%, up from 4%. And here it goes. I talked about 1.2 trillion as the muni bond market. 1.5 trillion of municipal bonds, half of all municipal debt outstanding, is insured, according to the Federal Reserve. And it talks about the increased borrowing costs of the state of New York. New York State is paying an additional $823,000 in weekly interest costs due to recent failed auctions. If more money goes to interest expense, then less money goes elsewhere, said Joseph Icheta, chief executive of Sabre Partners, New York City-based financial consulting firm for governments. And it talks about reducing the budget for police and other what I would say are essential services. So you're going to see this continuing demise of what's going on in America, and interest rates have probably bottomed out now. And what happened in the municipal bond market, I'm going to tell you here right now. Okay, this is my prediction, and you'll see it come true. It's a question of time. But you will see the U.S. bond market, long-time interest rates, what you learn in business school and basic economics courses, the riskless rate, you will see that go up. You will see it go up to, I've seen it, 4.6%. You'll see it go to 5%, 5.6%, 6%, 7%, 8%, 9%. You'll see long-term interest rates go past 10%, and then you'll see them go past 20%. And we're going to witness all this in the next 12, 24, 36 months. We'll see the devastation, the outright devastation of the U.S. financial system unfold before us in the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months. I'd a lot rather be a renter now than an owner. The U.S. housing market is going to continue to collapse. Yes, to collapse. And once the banks have taken in millions of homes, then we'll start seeing the inflation get in, but a little late to help out some of those people. And even though we have relatively low interest rates now, banks aren't lending, as you know. Last thing I'll end this tape with is mergers and acquisitions are going downhill. Because, for instance, let's say somebody wants to buy a company for, let's say, $1 billion, and they're going to borrow $800 million to buy it. Well, those lenders that used to do leveraged buyouts, which means using leverage to buy a company, a lot of them are backing off from those deals as we speak right now. So you'll see stocks get hit in a big way. It's been propped up with these artificial stilts put under the market, but those stilts will give way. And we're going to watch them give way in the next few weeks and months. So I'll keep you posted. Watch interest rates. Watch what's going on. It's hitting Main Street. It's hitting rich people. And we are going into a depression, no question about it. So I guess when CNBC says 8 months from now, nobody saw a depression coming, you can say, well, Man of Truth did. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I'm saying that to just be truthful to those that have ears to hear and are willing to hear. I guess I don't belong on Wall Street because they want the perpetual, eternal optimists that are going to tell them lies. And those guys that do know the truth on Wall Street are getting the H out of there. So once again, the people that are uninformed, unfortunately, are going to be left holding the bag and going to be financially devastated. Let's not be one of them. Let's prepare accordingly and never give up and get ready for this inevitable U.S. economic collapse that is at our doors. Right on. Take care. Talk to you later.